Commander Samantha Davis stood at the view screen, her blue eyes fixed on the massive alien station. It was shaped like a wheel with 12 spokes, each representing one of the major races in the galactic conclave. After years of distant communications, humanity was finally getting a seat at the table. "Nervous, Commander?" asked Captain William Hayes. He was older than Samantha by at least 15 years, with gray streaks in his brown hair. "A little," she admitted. "We've prepared for this moment for decades." The diplomatic vessel Nova Horizon approached the station slowly. Behind it, 5 other Earth ships maintained position, carrying scientists, cultural experts, and military observers. This was humanity's big moment, first official contact with the galactic community. "Message from Earth Command," said Communications Officer Peter Kelly. "They wish us good luck. The whole planet is watching." Samantha nodded. "No pressure, right?" The docking went smoothly. Samantha joined the diplomatic team led by Ambassador Frank Morgan, a calm man with steady hands and a quick mind. They walked through the alien corridors, marveling at architecture that blended styles from a dozen different worlds. The main chamber was enormous. Representatives from the 12 alien races sat at a circular table. The Axoni delegation sat at the head position. They were tall, with 4 arms and skin that looked like polished silver. Their leader, High Commander Vrax, watched the humans enter with 6 dark eyes that blinked in different patterns. "Humans of Earth," Vrax said through a translator device. "You have been invited here after careful observation of your civilization." Ambassador Morgan stepped forward. "We are honored to join the galactic community. Earth looks forward to peaceful exchange of knowledge and culture." Vrax's mouthparts clicked together. "Yes, knowledge. That is what concerns us." Samantha felt a chill. Something in Vrax's tone wasn't right. Morgan continued with the prepared speech. "Humanity brings unique perspectives to the conclave. Our adaptability and creativity." "Precisely the issue," interrupted Vrax. The other alien delegations shifted uncomfortably. "Your species evolves too rapidly. You advance too quickly. In the 100 years since you discovered basic radio technology, you have already achieved faster than light travel. Is that not impressive?" Morgan asked, confusion clear in his voice. "It is dangerous," said Vrax. "The Conclave has studied your history. You are violent, unpredictable. Your pattern of rapid advancement poses a threat to galactic stability." The atmosphere in the room changed instantly. Samantha's hand moved toward her sidearm. "This meeting is not what you think," Vrax continued. "It is not to welcome you. It is to inform you of the Conclave's decision. Humanity must be contained until proper controls can be established on your world." Ambassador Morgan's face paled. "That's outrageous. We came here in peace." Vrax stood, towering over the human delegation. "The decision is made. Your diplomatic status is revoked." Samantha grabbed her communicator. "Hayes, it's a trap. Get the ship ready, tow." The first explosion rocked the station. On the screens around the chamber, Samantha watched in horror as Axoni warships appeared from behind the station and opened fire on the Earth vessels. "Run," she shouted to the diplomats. "Back to the ship." Chaos erupted in the chamber. Some alien delegates seemed as surprised as the humans. Others were clearly expecting this. They fought their way back to the docking bay. Samantha lost sight of Ambassador Morgan in the confusion. When they reached the Nova Horizon only half the Earth delegation had made it back. "We have to go now," Hayes said as the ship rocked from a nearby explosion. 3 of our vessels are already destroyed." Samantha looked back at the station. "But the others are gone," Hayes said firmly. "Someone has to warn Earth." With a heavy heart, Samantha gave the order. The Nova Horizon broke away from the station, engines burning hot as Axoni ships pursued them. "Prepare for jump," Hayes ordered. "We need to get home. Fast." As the stars stretched around them, Samantha Davis made a silent promise. This betrayal would not stand. Humanity had been pushed, and now they would push back. 6 months had passed since the betrayal at the Galactic Conclave. Earth was no longer the hopeful planet looking to join the stars. Now it was an occupied world. Colonel John Martinez looked through binoculars from his hidden position in the Rocky Mountains. Below, in what used to be Denver, tall silver ships of the Axoni stood like needles piercing the sky. Alien soldiers patrolled the streets. They moved in perfect formation, their 4 arms carrying weapons humans had never seen before. "They're moving more people into the work camps," said Olivia Morgan. She was a former college professor who now led one of the best spy networks in the Resistance. Her once neat blonde hair was cut short and dirty from weeks in the field. "How many?" asked John. "Another 1,000, mostly scientists and engineers." Olivia put down her own binoculars. "They're taking our best minds. We need to find out why." The Resistance bunker was 3 miles away, hidden beneath an old ski resort. 50 soldiers and twice as many civilians called it home now. It wasn't much, but it was one of the few places free from Axoni control. That night, John called a meeting in the main chamber. Maps covered the walls showing Axoni positions across North America. Red marks showed where alien forces were strongest. "We lost contact with the Seattle group yesterday," John told the room. "Boston and Chicago are still fighting, but they're running low on supplies." "What about the Nova Horizon?" asked a young soldier. "Any word from Captain Hayes?" John shook his head. "Nothing since they jumped to Saturn's moons. We have to assume they're laying low or—" He didn't finish the thought. Olivia entered the room, her face flushed with excitement. "I found something." She put a small silver device on the table. It looked like a smooth egg with no buttons or screens. "What is it?" John asked. "An Axoni data storage unit. My team got it from an officer we ambushed near Boulder." Olivia touched the top of the egg, and it split open. A hologram appeared above it, showing strange alien symbols. "I've been studying their language." Olivia pointed to specific marks. "This is a report about humanity. They've been watching us for over 100 years." The room fell silent as she continued. "The Axoni aren't just afraid of us. They're terrified. According to their scientists, humans evolve and adapt faster than any species they've ever encountered. Where most races take thousands of years to make major advancements, we do it in decades." John looked at the hologram with narrowed eyes. "So they attacked us because we learned too quickly." "It's more than that," Olivia said. "Look at this part. It shows genetic comparisons between humans and other races. Our bodies adapt to new environments in just a few generations. Our brains form new neural pathways at 5 times the rate of the average galactic species." "And that scared them enough to invade us?" asked a voice from the back. "There's more," Olivia said. "The Axoni have ruled the Galactic Conclave for over 10,000 years. Their power comes from their technological advantage. But their own records show they haven't made a major scientific breakthrough in the last millennium. They're stagnant." John began to understand. "And we were advancing too quickly. They saw us as a future threat." "Exactly," Olivia nodded. "According to their projections, at our current rate of advancement, humans would surpass Axoni technology within the next 50 years. A spark of hope lit in John's eyes. "So they fear what we might become." "It gets better," Olivia said with a small smile. "This data contains the locations of every major Axoni base on Earth. And something else. Communication suggesting not all alien races in the Conclave supported this invasion." John stood straighter. For the first time in months, he felt something more than just the drive to survive. Now there was a real chance to fight back. "Get this information to all resistance cells," he ordered. "And we need to find a way to contact the Nova Horizon. If they're still out there, they need to know what we found." The room buzzed with new energy. The Axoni had made a critical mistake. They had pushed humanity into a corner, but they didn't understand what that meant. Humans fought hardest when they had no other choice. Beyond the orbit of Jupiter, Hidden in the shadows of the asteroid belt, humanity's secret weapon waited. A fleet of ships that Earth had been building before the invasion, now the last free military force of mankind. Admiral Catherine Bennett stood on the bridge of the Defiance *, the largest warship humans had ever built. Through the main window, she watched as smaller ships moved between the asteroids. Workers in spacesuits floated alongside hulls, making final repairs. "Status report," she said to the officer beside her. "Fuel reserves at 87%, replied Lieutenant Susan Miller. "Food and water for 6 months. Weapons at full capacity." Catherine nodded. "And the new drive system?" "Engineer Rodriguez says it's ready for testing." In the engine room, Daniel Rodriguez wiped sweat from his forehead as he made final adjustments to his creation. The new propulsion system would change everything. It wasn't just faster than standard drives. It could change direction almost instantly, something alien ships couldn't match. "Give me another reading," he told his assistant, Greg Foster. Greg checked the computer screen. "Power flow stable. Reaction chamber holding pressure." Daniel smiled for the first time in weeks. It works. It actually works. On the other side of the ship, Captain William Hayes studied the latest intel from Earth. After escaping the Conclave trap 6 months ago, the Nova Horizon had made its way to the Hidden Fleet, bringing valuable information about the enemy. "The resistance cells are growing stronger," he told Admiral Bennett when she joined him. "Martinez has units operating in every major city now. But they can't drive the Axoni off-planet," Catherine said. "They need us for that." William nodded grimly. The latest message from Martinez included something else. "The Resistance captured an Axoni data storage unit. It confirms what we suspected. They fear our potential. That's why they attacked." Catherine looked at the star map showing Earth, now marked with red symbols indicating alien control. "Any word from the Mars colony?" "Nothing for 2 months," William said. "The Axoni established a major base there. They're using our colonists as forced labor." Catherine's face hardened. She had family on Mars. "Then we know where to strike first." The next morning, Catherine called all ship captains to the Defiance for a briefing. 20 men and women gathered around a holographic display showing the solar system. "For 6 months, we've hidden and built our strength," Catherine told them. "We've trained crews, completed ships that were under construction, and developed new weapons. Now it's time to fight back." The hologram zoomed in on Mars, showing the Axoni base. "Our first target is the Mars colony," Catherine continued. "Intelligence from Earth suggests the Axoni have only 4 warships stationed there. They don't expect an attack from deep space." Daniel Rodriguez stepped forward. "All capital ships have been fitted with the new propulsion system. It gives us significant advantages in maneuverability. The Axoni ships turn like bricks compared to what we can do now." "What about civilians?" asked one captain. "The Resistance provided layouts of the labor camps," William Hayes explained. "We'll insert strike teams to evacuate our people while the fleet engages the Axoni ships." Catherine looked around the room at the faces of her officers. Some showed fear, others determination. All showed resolve. "This isn't just about Mars," she said. "This is where we show the Axoni they made a terrible mistake. Humanity isn't going to be conquered. We're going to push back, and we're going to win." The captains returned to their ships. Throughout the fleet, crews prepared for battle. Weapons were checked, fighters fueled, and combat teams briefed. The mood changed from quiet survival to focused determination. On the bridge of the Defiance Catherine gave the order that would begin humanity's counterattack. "All ships, prepare for departure. Set course for Mars. It's time to remind the galaxy why humans should never be pushed too far." The Hidden Fleet moved out from the asteroid belt, engines glowing in the darkness, carrying humanity's fury toward its first target. The battle for Mars lasted just 6 hours. The human fleet struck with speed and precision that the Axoni never expected. 3 alien warships were destroyed before they could even power up their main weapons. The fourth managed to send a distress signal before Commander Samantha Davis led a squadron of fighters that disabled its engines. Now, 2 days later, Lieutenant Christopher Wells stood on the red soil of Mars, watching freed colonists board evacuation ships. The Axoni base had been captured mostly intact, providing valuable technology and intelligence. "Lieutenant," called a soldier, "we found something you should see." Chris followed the soldier to a small building near the edge of the base. Inside, communication equipment lined the walls. But it wasn't standard Axoni tech. It was different, more organic looking. "This is a Tellurian relay station," Chris said, recognizing the design from intelligence briefings. The Tellurians were one of the 12 major races in the Galactic Conclave, known for their empathic abilities. As Chris examined the equipment, he noticed movement in the corner. He raised his weapon. "Come out slowly," he ordered. A figure emerged from hiding. She was clearly not human. Tall and slender with pale blue skin and large dark eyes. Her hands had 6 fingers each. "I am Navara," she said in perfect English. "Communications liaison for the Tellurian embassy." "You're a long way from the embassy," Chris said, not lowering his weapon. "I was stationed here to monitor Axoni communications," Navara explained. Not all members of the Conclave supported this war. Chris studied her face. Tellurians couldn't lie without visible discomfort. Their skin would flush purple. Navara's remained steady blue. "You're telling the truth," he said finally. "My people have been watching how humans fight," Navara continued. "You are, not what the Axoni told us. They said humans were savage, mindless fighters. But your attack was careful. You minimized civilian casualties. Even Axoni casualties were possible." Chris lowered his weapon. "We fight to win, not to slaughter." "This matches what I have observed in the labor camps. Human prisoners shared food with each other. They risked punishment to help the injured. These are not the actions of savages." Over the next hours, Chris learned much from Navara. The Tellurians had joined the coalition against Earth reluctantly, pressured by the Axoni. Now, many were questioning that decision. "My people can feel emotions across great distances," Navara explained. "The pain from Earth has troubled us greatly." Chris saw an opportunity. "Would you be willing to help us?" "How?" "We need to break the coalition apart. If your leaders could see what's really happening on Earth." Navara considered this. "It may be possible, but I would need to send a message to my homeworld." Admiral Bennett was skeptical when Chris brought Navara to the Defiance *. "You're suggesting we trust an alien from the same coalition that attacked us?" she asked. "The coalition isn't as united as the Axoni want us to believe," Chris argued. "If we can get the Tellurians to withdraw their support, others might follow." After hours of debate, Bennett agreed to let Navara send a message through the captured relay station. 3 days later, they received a response. The Tellurian High Council requested a direct meeting. "It's working," Chris told Navara as they prepared for the meeting. "This could change everything." "There is something else," Navara said quietly. "Something I learned from the Axoni communications. They have discovered your hidden bases on Earth. They are planning a major attack to crush the resistance once and for all." Chris felt his blood run cold. "When?" 5 days from now." Chris rushed to Admiral Bennett with the news. The victory at Mars had been significant, but Earth was still the main battlefield. They had to warn Colonel Martinez and the resistance. "Send the fastest ship we have," Bennett ordered, "and prepare the fleet. We're changing our plans." What had started as a rebellion was turning into a real war, and now, with potential allies among the stars, humanity's chances were improving. The tide was beginning to turn. Back on Earth, the resistance was in danger. Colonel John Martinez led his people deeper into the mountains as Axoni search teams closed in. The warning from Admiral Bennett had arrived just in time. "Move quickly and stay quiet," John told the group of 50 fighters and civilian support staff. The narrow path wound through a dense forest. Above them, alien scout ships searched with scanning beams. Olivia Morgan walked beside him, carrying a heavy backpack of computer equipment. "They found almost all our bases at the same time," she said. "They must have developed a way to detect our power signatures. Or they have a spy," John said grimly. They reached a cave entrance hidden behind a waterfall. Inside, Dr. Melissa Carter waited with her team of scientists and engineers. She was a small woman with intense eyes that showed she hadn't slept in days. "Did you save the equipment?" she asked immediately. "Most of it," Olivia confirmed. Melissa nodded with relief. "Good. We're close to a breakthrough." For 3 months, Melissa had been working on something that might change the war. A neural interface system that enhanced human reflexes and strength. The system linked directly with the human nervous system, allowing soldiers to react faster and coordinate better in battle. "Show me what you've got," John said. In a chamber deep in the cave, Melissa revealed 6 soldiers wearing thin metal bands around their heads and wrists. Each band glowed with a soft blue light. "The latest version works twice as well as the prototype," Melissa explained. "It enhances natural human abilities without the side effects of the earlier models." "How does it help us fight the Axoni?" John asked. "Their physiology is completely different from ours," Melissa said. "Their neural pathways are structured in patterns of 4, matching their 4 arms. It makes them precise and coordinated, but not adaptable. Human brains form new connections constantly. This system accelerates that process, letting our soldiers adapt to new situations 20 times faster than normal. And the Axoni can't use this technology." "They tried," Melissa smiled slightly. "We found records in their systems. Their brains rejected the interface. It only works with human neural patterns." John looked at the 6 enhanced soldiers. "Are they ready for a field test?" "More than ready," said Major Alexander Parker, the squad leader. He was a tall man with a scar running from his eye to his jaw. "We've been training for weeks. Give us a target." John unfolded a map showing an Axoni command center 30 miles away. "This is their regional headquarters. If we can capture it, we'll disrupt their search operations across 3 states." "We'll leave tonight," Alexander said confidently. When darkness fell, Alexander led his squad through the forest. With the neural enhancements, they moved almost silently, their movements perfectly coordinated. They reached the Axoni base just before midnight. The alien facility was heavily guarded, with energy fences and motion sensors surrounding it. For normal humans, it would be impossible to enter undetected. But Alexander's team wasn't normal anymore. "Follow my movements exactly," he told his squad as they approached the first barrier. Moving as one, the 6 soldiers slipped through gaps in the sensor grid, timing their movements to the split-second patterns they observed. Inside the perimeter, they separated into 3 teams. 2 soldiers headed for the power generators. 2 went toward the communications array. Alexander and his partner moved directly to the command center. The Axoni never saw them coming. Within 20 minutes, the power went out across the base. Communications went dark 10 seconds later. By the time Alexander reached the command center, confusion had spread among the alien forces. Inside, he found what they needed most: the Axoni Central Database for North American operations. Alexander downloaded everything while his partner held off the guards who finally realized they were under attack. "Got it," Alexander said, securing the data. "Fall back to extraction point." The enhanced squad disappeared into the night, leaving behind a crippled Axoni command center and taking with them the information that might save the rest of the resistance. Back at the cave, John and Melissa reviewed the stolen data as dawn broke over the mountains. "This is everything," John said in amazement. "Patrol schedules, base locations, supply routes, even their battle plans for the next month." "The neural interface worked perfectly," Melissa added. "No casualties. Mission accomplished." For the first time since the invasion, they had a real advantage. The human advantage. The war had changed. For 2 weeks, the human fleet had been hitting Axoni positions across the solar system. Small, fast attacks that confused the enemy. Admiral Catherine Bennett called it the mosquito strategy. Bite, draw blood, and fly away before they can hit back. On the bridge of the Defiance *, Catherine studied the tactical display. Colored dots showed ship positions around Jupiter. Human forces in blue. Axoni in red. The main Axoni fleet is moving into position, reported Lieutenant Susan Miller. All 37 ships, just as we predicted. Catherine nodded. And the Tellurians? Still holding position near Europa. 4 warships. They haven't joined the Axoni formation. This was good news. The meeting with the Tellurian High Council had gone well. They hadn't officially withdrawn from the coalition yet, but they weren't actively fighting humans anymore either. Signal Commander Ryan Phillips, Catherine ordered. Tell him to proceed with Phase 2. Far from the coming battle, Commander Ryan Phillips led a small, elite team of ships toward a different target. His vessel, the Phantom *, was designed for stealth. It had no weapons, but it carried something more important: information. Approaching the Conclave headquarters, Ryan told his crew. Activate cloaking systems. The Phantom * and its 3 escort ships vanished from normal scanners as they approached the massive space station where the Galactic Conclave met. This was where the decision to attack Earth had been made. This was where Ryan would expose the truth. Security is lighter than expected, said his second-in-command, Lisa Warren. Most of their forces must be supporting the Axoni fleet at Jupiter. Ryan checked his equipment one last time. Let's do this fast. We have one shot. While Admiral Bennett's main fleet engaged the Axoni Armada in a massive battle near Jupiter, Ryan's team docked with the Conclave station through a maintenance port. Inside, they moved quickly through service corridors, avoiding the few guards. Their target was the central communication hub, the place where messages were sent to all worlds in the Conclave. With them, they carried data stolen from Axoni bases on Earth and Mars. Data that showed the Axoni had manipulated the Conclave for centuries. Security checkpoint ahead, Lisa whispered, peering around a corner. 2 guards stood before a large door. They weren't Axoni, but another species with features like large cats. Ryan touched the neural interface band on his wrist. Thanks to Dr. Carter's technology, he could process information faster than ever. He noticed patterns in the guards' movements. They checked left, then right, then the ceiling cameras in a constant cycle. There's a 3-second window between camera sweeps, he told his team. We move then. With perfect timing, they slipped past the guards during a camera rotation. Inside the communication hub, they found what they expected: a large empty room with a central console. The Axoni relied on automation for most systems. Ryan connected their data storage to the console. Begin upload. Across thousands of worlds, regular Conclave communications were suddenly interrupted. Instead, viewers saw evidence of Axoni deception. Internal messages showed how the Axoni had exaggerated the threat from Earth. Historical records revealed a pattern of the Axoni eliminating any species that might challenge their dominance. Upload complete, Lisa reported. We have 90 seconds before security responds. As they retreated to their ship, alarms began to sound throughout the station, but it was too late to stop the broadcast. The truth was out. Back at Jupiter, the battle took an unexpected turn. 3 major alien fleets, the Tellurians, the Mroxi, and the Vex, suddenly withdrew from the fight. Without their support, the Axoni found themselves outmaneuvered by the more agile human ships. Admiral Bennett watched as the enemy formation began to break apart. They're running, Susan said in disbelief. No, Catherine corrected her. They're being abandoned. Commander Phillips succeeded. Across the solar system, the balance of power was shifting. Humanity wasn't just fighting back anymore. They were winning. 1 month after the battle at Jupiter, Earth was free again. The last Axoni ships had retreated from the planet's orbit, chased away by the combined human fleet. Now, a different kind of battle was about to begin. Captain Amanda Foster stood in the Grand Hall of the Galactic Conclave, the same room where the betrayal had happened nearly a year ago. But this time, she wasn't here as a victim. She was here to dictate terms. Behind her stood Admiral Catherine Bennett, Colonel John Martins, and representatives from every major human settlement. Across the circular table sat delegates from 11 alien civilizations. The Axoni chairs were empty. "The Supreme Commander of the Axoni forces has surrendered," announced the conclave mediator, a tall being with features like a praying mantis. "The coalition against Earth is officially dissolved." Amanda stepped forward. She had been chosen to speak for humanity because of her diplomatic background, but everyone knew she was backed by the most determined military force the galaxy had seen in millennia. "Humanity accepts the surrender," she said clearly. "Now we will discuss our terms for peace." The alien delegates shifted uncomfortably. Some looked afraid. Others seemed impressed. "Earth will join the Galactic Conclave," Amanda continued. "Not as a subject race, but as a full and equal member. We claim the right to develop our civilization without interference." "This is unprecedented," objected one delegate, a reptilian being with scales that flashed different colors. "New races must undergo a probationary period of at least 50 years. "That policy was created by the Axoni," Amanda replied calmly, "along with many others designed to keep newer civilizations weak and dependent. Those policies end today." Navarra, now officially representing the Tellurian government, stood in support. "Humanity has proven itself. They fought not just for survival, but for justice. When they could have destroyed Axoni worlds in revenge, they chose restraint." The debate lasted for hours. Some races feared human military power. Others saw the opportunity for a new balance in the conclave. In the end, the vote passed. Earth would join as a full member. As the delegates filed out, Catherine approached Amanda. "You did well. They respect strength, but they fear unchecked power even more." "That's why the next part is so important," Amanda replied. The following day, a new treaty was signed. Earth would maintain its military forces, but agreed to help establish a balanced council to prevent any single race from dominating the conclave again. The Axoni would keep their homeworld, but lose their colonies and most of their fleet. On the final day, Colonel Martinez met with resistance leaders from around Earth. The cities were damaged, but rebuilding had already begun. "What happens now?" asked Olivia Morgan as they watched alien aid ships landing with supplies and medical assistance. "Now we learn to live in a bigger world," John replied. "But we'll never forget what it cost us." Back on the Defiance *, Admiral Bennett looked at the stars through the main viewport. Engineer Daniel Rodriguez joined her, carrying the plans for new ships. "The neural interface technology is being adapted for exploration vessels," he told her. "We'll be able to navigate new systems faster than any other race." Catherine nodded thoughtfully. "Make sure it has civilian applications too. We need to show the galaxy that humans aren't just warriors." "What do you think they'll remember about us?" Daniel asked. "About what happened here. They'll remember that humans fought back when we were pushed too far," Catherine said. "But I hope they also remember what we did after we won. That will define us more than the war itself." Across Earth, humans looked to the sky with new eyes. No longer just wondering what was out there, but knowing they had a place among the stars. They had been tested in fire, and had not only survived but emerged stronger. The galaxy had pushed humanity too far. And in doing so, it had awakened not just humanity's fury, but its greatest potential. Now, a new chapter would begin. One where humans would help shape the future of all species who shared the stars.